Hello and welcome to the south. Actually, no, forget it. I give up with that intro section. In all of these videos so far, I've been telling you to have a look at, I think it's episode 22, to find out what this is, what it's all about, and where to get a copy of the scenery. But episode 22 has one of the lowest view counts of any of the videos in this entire series. So I'm thinking there's one group of people who already know about this and have a copy of the South Fiordland scenery, and another group who don't care and don't want it anyway, so nobody's clicking on the link. I'll keep it in the description, but I'm going to give up mentioning it from now on. It seems it's probably pointless looking at those numbers, so yeah, let's just go flying instead, shall we? And a little close to those trees, but probably farther away from them than we were to the mountains in the last episode, so we're doing okay. Yeah, I mentioned something about setting a bit of custom weather and having a rainy day, but obviously that's not what we have here. This was just download the weather and this is what has appeared, and I thought if we have an early morning flight with this, that could all look quite pretty, so we'll do that instead today. Yeah, it does look quite nice, doesn't it? Although one thing X-Plane hasn't quite managed to do yet is you can see the line of the top of the mountains. There's a bit of shine and flicker to those which you can see through the clouds. So hopefully they can sort that out in future updates. Although the current beta update appears to have broken a few things, and airports are popping up errors for fuel trucks missing. Not sure what Laminar have done there with their file structure, but I would guess it's probably easy enough for them to fix it, so fingers crossed for the next beta update. Yeah, it's quite interesting with that. In the distance, that little white curved line of cloud, grey above and blue below. Almost looks like the moon has suddenly got 300,000 kilometres closer. Or maybe it's another planet about to crash into us. And actually, yeah, that could be it. Did I accidentally set the date to 4.5 billion years ago? And that's Theia about to crash into us. Yeah, and personally I like a bit of cosmology and astrophysics, but just in case that last sentence made no sense at all to you, about 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was happily orbiting the Sun and forming, but so was a second smaller planet called Theia. And eventually they ran into each other, and as you can imagine that would have been quite a loud bang, and probably the collision was heavier than some of my landings. No, really. It basically destroyed Theia, ripped a load of material off the Earth, and some of that material then coalesced into the Moon, which is why we have a moon now. And also why we're here too, actually. Because the collision was violent enough for everything to turn into a molten mess. Now if you put two liquids in a glass, because of gravity the heavier one will settle to the bottom. Now where's the bottom on a planet? Well, from a gravity point of view, that's at the centre, isn't it? So lots of the very heavy molten iron sank to the centre of the Earth, and that churning molten iron now produces our magnetic field, and that protects us from the charged particles and radiation from the Sun. So, I mean, who knows, maybe life could have started in a different form, but it'd be nothing like we are today, so the collision is kind of responsible for us being able to live on this planet. So it's kind of like Taya and Earth are our mother and father, as it took both of them for us to be alive. But while we all know the phrase Mother Earth, I'm going with Taya being the mother and the female one. That's because instead of being able to park properly, she had an accident and rammed into the side of us. And hopefully we won't have a Taya landing here. And, oh no, that was actually quite nice. Yeah, you know that with the sound effect, because there wasn't one. Not sure how many feet per minute you need to be doing to trigger the sort of bang sound effect when you land. So, we were obviously just under that figure, so you don't get the sound effect. Yeah, that went alright. And oh, nearly forgot. The Fjord Tours brochure says our next stop is Luger Burn, which is home to the South Fiordland Law Enforcement and also the venue for the weekly TV show Prisoner's Wheel of Fortune, where prisoners spin the wheel and may get a bonus, such as their sentence being cut in half, or perhaps something negative like being made to pay an extra $100 fine. However, the most fun comes when a prisoner spins and gets the mystery segment of the wheel, which happened last month. And that episode of Prisoner's Wheel of Fortune has become the top-rated TV show of all time in South Fiordland. The look on the prisoner's face was fantastic when he found out that his mystery forfeit was to be superglued to a water buffalo and then deported to Nigeria. Yeah, way too nosy for that. Let's go and see what a stun gun and tear gas testing and training area actually is. That's okay, nothing out of the ordinary. Just testing new stun guns on a captive wild nun. So yeah, that's perfectly normal. Nothing wrong there.